like every day. No DMV, got so much pain inside of me. I move on, feel like it's on me. Talk to God, sometimes I feel like he don't hear me. Wish I could call my dog a fool life. The one sometimes can be dangerous. My back against the wall, tell me what I'm saying. My kindness always gets up. Jumped up and out, almost panic, almost panic. Good to talk, remember shit can always get better. Talk to Ari the other day, tell me don't you let him. Feeling my patience running out, I gotta have it. At 14, made a promise to my dad in heaven. Remain humble, stay patient, that's the key. Need the right the energy next to me.
Hey, go ahead and do it. Here.
Remember, be cautious of the signs, gotta let it go. Shaking off the demons, trying to trap my soul. It's okay to fall back, too many my business. Watch me say this world is cold, too much envy. One day I'ma sit you down and tell you what's going on. I pray you understand me, too much going on. Everybody favorite line is down the street. So sick and tired of hearing damn, that's your crazy. People be crying out for help, but nobody noticed. He told me I can go through what I go through, just stay focused. Keep a smile on your face. Going through the much like every day. No B&B, got so much inside of me. Try to move on, feel like it's on me. Talk to God, sometimes I feel like he don't hear.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to As the Culture Turns, live from cmpradio.net. It's the station. My name is Jermir.
I'm Chanel.
And I'm John LeBron. I'm Cory Long.
All right, we're going to get this show started. There we go. Yeah. All right, we're going to get this show started. So as you can see, we are live from our homes. Something happened at the station the other day, but we're going to get the show started. As you can see, we do have a special guest with us today. First, I want to say welcome to season 2. There we go. Yes. So we have a special guest today, and I will let him introduce himself. So go on ahead.
Cory Long, City of Chester, community organizer, founder of the Making a Change group. I don't know if I want to say formally known as DJ Cory because I still dip in that.
Hurry up. Get your start. I know that's good. Yeah. I just think thank you. Number one, thank you for coming on to our premiere episode. You know, it's a lot. It means a lot. Someone like you, who's doing a lot in the community. You know. All right. So Cory, the first thing I want to ask you, can you tell us how the Making a Change group came about?
Yeah. So around 2004, I started a group called Team Mac. I was doing skating events out of Sea and Skate Palace.
Yes. Skate Sunday, no school Monday.
Sunday, no school Monday. That's right. Damn Sundays. And if y'all remember, Rockaware was out back then, and they had a line. They had a shirt called Team Rock. And it was like, you know what? I really was at a place where I wanted to connect more with the youth. And Rockaware was popping, you know what I mean? And so, they had Team Rock line out. I said, I'm going to go with Team Mac, and try to use it as a sort of a marker to make a, imprint on the young people. So that's where it came from.
That's
all right.
Yes. Another word you mentioned was important was youth. And I like that. Can you explain the importance of having a youth development program?
I'm gonna go back, Jermir, because I really didn't understand the importance of it when I started it. Again, for me, it was really just a positive way for me to, put on some entertainment for the city. Like a lot of, I was 27 when I started Team Mac. So, just like a lot of y'all, looking for events, looking for ways for people to do something positive. And so I had a relationship with the skating rink, and I wanted to do something, and I thought it was going to be for kind of my age at the time, either 27 or at least something, right? But that's not the case. God has a strange way of aligning us with our purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had this event. I'm expecting, people 18, 19, 20, 21 to come out. And it was just flooded with kids, man. And the kids came, and the way they took to me, and again, now keep in mind, I'm 27 years old at this time. You know, the way that they took to me, you know, Uncle Cory, and it was just a need for the kids to have a positive role model in their life. They took to me as that, you know what I'm saying? And it did something to me. It just said, you know, I have to do. I started looking for ways to just do more, man. So that's where it started. It wasn't like I started out on this path of doing youth programs and all that, man. It just started with one thing, saying, you know what, let me look and see how much what else I can do to get involved or do more. And all I said was, I know what I'm doing in music, you know, and I know I can relate to kids do music. So all, you know, I want to sing or rap and all that, you know, and I got a story to tell to them. And it just started right from there, just me sharing my heart, my testimony with them, and partnering with our local church. Me and Chanel was going to, you know, Life in Christ together at the time, local church, and you know, and then you know, some of the schools and stuff like that, and from then, you know, the more and more I got involved in it, the more and more training I started taking, and the more and more kids' lives I started impacting, and it became more of just a serious call for me, man.
Yeah. Can I add, those skate Sundays were probably one of the most memorable times we had, like, as our generation. I feel like anybody who was from the area could remember a time that we went to skate Sunday, no school Monday, so many memories. So thank you for those memories, and thank you for like a safe environment to just have fun and be kids.
Yeah, that's true.
The funny thing about that, you know, I was just talking about that earlier this week. The funny thing about that is we did that for 12 years. We did that till 2016 when they closed down. And we had one major incident in 12 years. All those fell out skate jams and kids. And the tough part for me was I would have to see kids that was from these neighborhoods. They were from the hoods, and they would be beefing with other kids. And sometimes the beef would come out there, and they would get into it. But it wouldn't be much more than a fight. And them same kids, and some of them aren't here today. Some of them, you know, were murdered, you know, throughout that process. But it, you know, and I would see when they come out there, they would be called a shooter on the streets. But when they come out there, they just wanted to be a kid. They just wanted to be a kid. They would come to me, you know, on the side, say, "Listen, man, I don't want to start no trouble. I'm just here to have fun tonight." Dude, I'm looking at me, and I know what's going on and all that. And I would pull them to a side. I pull the other group to the side, and it became a real safe haven for kids, you know, out there. And so I miss it. And the only reason why I closed down is because the skating ring owners just decided they had, you know, they put it up for sale. But we did that for 12 years without any major incidents out there.
It was definitely an outlet for everybody in Chester. All the young kids, it was definitely an outlet for everybody.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, I definitely remember attending a few of those. So again, like Chanel said, I thank you for that as well. Definitely. So now I got another question. Because you did bring up DJ Cory. When did you make that transition? I mean, you might have just said it, but when did you make that transition from, you know, DJ Cory to this community leader that we now know that's real big on helping our community, you know, become the last 5 letters in that, which is for us to unite together?
Absolutely. I think it was over that period, probably between 2004 and maybe 2014 or so, somewhere around in like a 10-year period, you know, sort of evolving as I got, you know, older. I'm not as old as I act all the time, but I am. I'll be 45 next Friday.
Okay.
Shout out to the Leos out there.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But you know, so I'm 44, and over that 10-year span, you know, again from 27 to maybe 37, I was evolving, and the music was changing. I want to say y'all music was changing, you know what I mean? And so I was growing away from it a little bit, you know what I mean? It was like, I ain't really feeling, you know, me and Lil Yachty ain't sitting too tight, you know what I mean?
But DJ Cory, I don't blame you, Cory, because I don't like him either.
I hear you. As things was evolving, and even now, you know, I got a DJ Cory and friends group because I started doing the quarantine. I started, you know, doing mixes again. And I probably got to about 4, maybe 5 mixes at the most. And it just became too much for me because my work is too heavy with the community and with, running and making a change group. Like, a lot of people don't know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that goes into being an executive director and running an organization. I deal with, my board and my donors and supporters and partnerships, and then our staff, and running our broadcast daily. Like, it's a lot that goes into the work that we do. I'm tired, so at the end of the week, I don't really have a desire to really go and DJ anymore. And it also had a lot to do with me personally, just being, sort of self-aware and saying, Cory, do you want to impact lives, or do you want to make music for people to party? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Real life thing. Like, what's more important to you to do in life?
Right. That's powerful.
Yeah, but I also see that you have your son who has taken up the DJ gene, and is following your footsteps. So you laid a platform out there.
Yep.
Yeah. He tough too. He amazes me. I'm like, man, this boy better than me. 10 years old. He's tough.
I see him on Instagram. He be doing this thing with his video. I see him.
He do. He caught it. And the main thing with DJing, the DJ has to know the music. Like, you have to know the music. Like, he can't be 10 years old and just play the stuff that he knows in his young 10 years. Because a lot of people don't want to hear the only things that's relevant to him, right?
Right.
He likes stuff from my generation. He likes stuff from your generation, and his knowledge of music is that's what's most impressive to me about him. And I'm like, kid, where are you hearing? Like, I'm not in the house listening to this. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I go from Marvin Sapp to Jay-Z, like gospel music is like, hip hop in my era. So where are you hearing all this variety of music at, man? But he got it. He knows it, man.
Yeah, he's doing his homework then.
He is. He really is.
No, that's good. That's good. You passed the torch down. That's good. So I got another question for you. Because we in the middle of a election year, and it's basically election season right now. What are some initiatives you think we can take to encourage people in our community to vote in local and also presidential elections?
I think for y'all, for your generation, is to educate them on what the issues are and how voting will impact their lives individually. You know what I mean? Like for now, we're doing a campaign with the census. We partner with the census and helping people understand or bringing more people to fill out the census form, because the more the census is accurately accounted for, the more funding we get per person for things like after school programs and some of our infrastructure, like, redoing the bridges. And you look at some of the bridges in Chester that, like, what is it, Fifth and Lloyd, Fifth and Penn.
Yeah.
Some of them bridges that been being repaired for 10 years. It's like, that's what the census money, it goes into some of all that,
Okay.
So educating, like, knowing what the platform is, that people want to run on. If they're talking about, we'll do this for the youth, or we'll do this in education, well, how are you going to do that? Finding out who those candidates are and bringing more awareness to that. I try not to be too politically aligned these days, because, I do have a background of working, with specific political groups at times. And so I've tried to move away from that. And I don't want to align to making a change group with, political affiliation too much. But I think for groups like y'all that's more sort of independent and have sort of a platform, you can go to a specific candidate and say, hey, listen, what is your agenda and how does that, relate to our community, and go to a variety of candidates and do that.
Awesome.
That's good. No, that's definitely good. And I like how you worded that, because I do know that for a lot of people, they hear your ancestors, stood in line for the right for you to vote. And while that works for me, I don't believe that works for everyone in our generation, so I do realize that it's other initiatives that we have to take in order to inspire people to vote. Also, I did notice that you also did participate in the protest that just happened this past weekend. And, you can touch on this as much as you want. How was that experience for you? And, well, I'll follow up after that. How was that experience first, going to the Black Lives Matter protest?
Well, for me, it was honestly, I was just riding by to support. I was just riding by the same way I did last night in Parkside. Rode by, honk my horn to support because I give myself to the community enough Monday through Friday, and part of Saturday, and so on the weekends I'm trying to give myself more to my family, and so that was my one, my family day, and my family was together and I said, let's ride out, let's go support and just go honk the horn and see how everything was going. We had no idea what we was riding into at all. Mm-hmm. When I got out there and I saw the trucks and the flags and the trucks blowing smoke and just the tension, people yelling, the counter protesters and all that, I said, let me out. I can't just, I can't leave. And I, send my wife and my daughter home, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. and get out of here, get away from this, but I'm staying. I'll find a ride. My battery was like on 20%. I knew it was going to die soon, but I'm like, it's going down today, Mm-hmm. So I'm usually one for violence prevention, but today mm-hmm. That day I was a little bit of Malcolm and Martin putting one, and that's honestly that's the mentality that I had out there. So but I also, just as a person of just a little older and more experienced, I was just out there practicing wisdom. And, you've heard on my live, if you listen to it, where a few of them decided that they wanted to have a cordial conversation. Then I met with a cordial conversation, and we just agreed to disagree. You know what I mean? It's right. When somebody, came up and he wanted to, act tough, then the little bit of that mouth came out. You know what I mean? So that's where, that's that's at the end of the day, I'm from the city, so it's only so much that we want to tolerate.
I know that's right.
This ain't the 60s, y'all. Exactly. But at the end of the day, like I said, I am a little experienced and know how to carry myself and conduct myself, and I did the best I could, and I think it was a reasonable manner.
Yeah. I honestly want to just say, like, we saw the live and we were like, okay, I think you sharing both sides of what's happening was also eye-opening to see that, like, okay, we can still have those conversations of disagreements and still being respectful of one another. And then you listen, and then when they try you still gonna get this, you know what I mean? So I think that it was really important for us to see, So thank you for sharing that.
And also, Cory, and also, Cory, what disturbed me watching, the live, it was you and numerous other people sharing that live, was, I noticed a lot of them men that was there, you guys came peacefully. Them guys was carrying a firearm, a lot of them guys, and I seen it, and I noticed that, and that's what disturbed me, because I'm like, okay, we peacefully protesting, then them guys coming with guns. That kind of triggered something in my head, and it was like, whoa, it don't have to get like that. And then I seen the one individual, you was talking to Joe, because I was on your live, and you was talking to the man Joe. On your left hand side, it was another individual who was short, pretty stocky with a green shirt, and you see him always constantly reaching to his backside of the hip. And I'm watching that stuff, and I'm like, look at these individuals. They ready to do something more than just saying words. So, how did that, were you aware of that? Was anybody else aware of what was going on? Because I did see some of that stuff in your live and other individuals' lives as well.
I didn't really, focus on it too much. I mean, they had bats and pipes, and they had things that they were trying to intimidate people with. But again, for me, that's the reason why I stayed, because I saw how they were trying to intimidate this crowd of mostly, women and children and some men, and I'm like, man, listen, we not doing that. We're not doing that. So again, I'm not there to look at look at what he got to look at what I wasn't really focused on that, and I felt like it was important to capture that on video. So this, if nothing else, we need to get this on the live. We need to get this. And so we can see exactly what's going on, whether it goes down, and we need this for future reference, or just for people to see who's who and how they're acting and responding.
Right.
And so, again, it was just more of a, but it was more of a just being aware, being focused, and just
Okay.
being a person with a level head that's gonna respond accordingly. That was my role. That's what I felt like my role was out there.
Okay.
So, can you just touch on, because I know you did a march in Chester that landed at the Martin Luther King statue by the library. Yeah. So, can we talk about like the difference of the atmosphere? Like, obviously, it wasn't violent and it didn't turn violent. And I love the speeches that you guys gave. So, can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, that march was put together by Coach Bell, Bell from Chester High School. And he pulled together a lot of the coaches that run phenomenal little league programs in the city. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't realize is that there's some tension. There has been some tension amongst the little league coaches, and so that was sort of a coming together for them. And I didn't realize it until that day. So a large part of that was just them coming together on one accord. There's so much discord in our community amongst us in these little factions, man, just in so many different layers. We wonder why it's hard for us to really go out there and build up our youth and unite. It's because there's so much, tension and discord in so many areas. And I'm like, I just learned it that day from the coaches, some of the coaches that just don't get along, and their little leagues just don't get along. So they were coming together. I was just more of a support, more of a voice, just helping promote and try to, pull it together. And that was my role. Now, what I had liked to see from that is some of them same brothers to move into other areas where they can, maybe come on out with us with V Pride, or participate in the Juneteenth celebration we had, or be more out of their own sort of groups and be more interactive with the community. And maybe they are in ways that I just don't know about, but that's what I was hoping to see out of that collaborative group of, about 400 men that came together.
Wow, 400, that's a big number. That's a lot of people, yeah.
That is 400. That is a lot of people, definitely. You mentioned the Juneteenth celebration.
Yes.
One, how was that? And is that something that you plan, or like the city plan on making annually? Because some of us been knew about Juneteenth, but it was never something that we all celebrated. So how do you plan on moving forward with that going forward?
I think it's something that needs to be celebrated annually. I think we need to start moving towards our own Juneteenth celebration. Yeah. The city has traditionally celebrated on 4th of July. I think we should move away from that and celebrate on Juneteenth. And our fireworks celebration, and the day that we commemorate is Juneteenth.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually went there to the Juneteenth celebration, and I feel like I just felt happy to be there with my people. Like it was a really good feeling to be there. And I know I missed the fireworks. I think I got there as the fireworks were happening, but I do know from other people who went that there was a singer as the fireworks went off, and I heard that was an emotional experience. And a lot of people were just like, teary-eyed during that display of her song and the fireworks all together.
Yeah, that was something we all pulled together. We coordinated, kind of at the last minute, because we only had like 10 days to really pull that off.
Wow.
But, so those of you don't know, those fireworks are about $7,500 to pull off a nice fireworks show like that. And then you got other costs associated with it. We had to get it, making a change. We had to get a $2 million insurance policy just for that day.
Wow.
We had to add it to a $10 million insurance policy for the fireworks company. So altogether, we had to have $12 million worth of insurance, but the fireworks company covered their $10 million. Making a change group had to cover $2 million of it. And the soccer stadium, we still had an issue because Governor Wolf hadn't declared that we were on green yet. You know what I mean? And so the soccer stadium was like, we can't even get 25 of our players to come in and practice. How can we give y'all permission to host this event here? But, they were gracious about it. And they said, well, if y'all cover all these aspects, we have to have these insurances from you. And then we wanted it to look nice out there. So we had some snacks. We had some we had the blackety black little potato chip bags and stuff, little banner set up and all that, and it was an effort, but it's easy to say that calls for a $10,000, it was about a $10,000 project and we only had about 10 days to put it together.
Wow. It came together beautifully. Like you can't even tell it was put together in 10 days.
It did. Shout out to everybody that came together for that, because a lot of entities put up, and we raised about $8,000 of it. So, so Mac didn't have to cover too much out of our budget, but like the mayor and his church, they put out $1,000. The district attorney gave $1,000.
Wow.
The Delco Foundation, which used to be Crozier's Foundation, they gave $500. I'm gonna forget somebody, but Chester Community Charter School gave $2,500. You know what I mean? Nice. So yeah, some groups gave some significant chunks, and then there was at least 50 or so community members, some from Chester, some from Delaware County. My mom gave like $200. You know what I mean? So it was a bunch of people that just came together because they wanted to see it happen. Big Frank, awesome. Frank Winston.
Okay.
Frank and his wife daycare, they gave $300, man, because people was like, this is something that, and they didn't even come, they couldn't even make it. Also, Pastor Herb Coe in St. Daniel's, they gave $1,000 too. So, shout out to everybody, man. The community just came together for that effort, and we've been seeing the community come together more and more during this time with Chester Sweeps and some of the other initiatives, even with V Pride. We've been seeing a lot of support come out, and even with JP and CMP is doing with the Chestorians coming together, every week and having their segments, and also the voter registration that's going to be this Saturday at 8 at Knife and Curling. There's been a different sense of energy of people coming together, and I hope we can continue to build on that.
Okay.
I think that's good. I like that. And that was my next question about the C Pride, V Pride. I do know that you all have been doing it for a few weeks now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could you just explain what the initiative and the mission is for that and where you would be at today?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm going to start with today, 3rd and Holland. Come on down, 6 o'clock. The team is down there setting up right now. So 3rd and Holland, come on down. And ironically, Chanel, I picked 3rd and Holland as a location because it's close to both Life in Christ, the church off of 3rd and Both.
Yeah.
And it's close to the hood. It's close to where the folks
where
is.
It happens.
Where it happens. Where it off, right? Yeah, it's close. So we're gonna be talking about preventing violence, right? We don't need to be down on Booth Street where you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Be close to it, right? So the whole point is the message out to the smaller kids, the younger generations, that listen, violence is not an option. I know you have to wake up and you have to see this, or you have to hear and experience this, and people from your neighborhood that's been shot or being shot at or whatever. But violence is not the answer to solving problems. And so part of the idea came from the little wine fairy groups that they had out, Did you get wine, Chanel?
Yeah, I'm part of the wine fairy group.
So while they was doing the wine, my wife is part of wine fairies, and she's getting wine. She's making wine baskets and all this and dropping off. I'm like, look, what about youth development, man? What about these kids?
Yeah.
Who gonna drop off some of these kids, right? So that's kind of where the idea came from. And then a friend of mine, Tucker from Painted Freedom, he was like, hey man, I want to give away 100 art boxes. I want to give away 100 art boxes for kids that, with some art supplies and things in it. And I said, let's take it there, man. Let's give away 1,000. Let's go to 10 different neighborhoods and give away 100 in each neighborhood. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and let's give away 1,000. We just raised $10,000 or $8,000 for the Juneteenth celebration a couple weeks ago. Let's go ahead and let's push the envelope and say, hey, this is what the need is. And so we put some fillers out there, and he was able to raise like $6,000 on his own. We were able to connect with the Community Foundation, which is a foundation that is based in Delaware County, and one of the actual supporter, one of the actual executive directors, one of the actual leaders of the program, is a resident of Ridley Township, and they saw the project, and they said that this is something that they want to support and get behind. So they went to their supporters, and they said, we'll supply all your items that go in the bag. And so making a change, we've had to just buy sort of the bags and I think the T-shirts or something like that. But they bought the items that was inside the bags. And so it's like some snacks and, a water pump and, a few little Frisbees and balls and a face mask. But if the items in the bag are worth about $10 total, when you times that by 10, by 100, by 1,000, I'm sorry, that's a $10,000, grant for products to go around the city. And so today we'll be in our 7th neighborhood. So we'll be, we're up to about 700 bags that we've given out already after the day. And, next week is our last 2 locations that we'll be in, which is Crosby Squares area, across the street at the Salvation Army, and 8th and Lloyd next Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. So now, can adults come? Is it just for children? Everybody can come?
Everybody comes out, and we've also connected with Uplift Solutions through one of our partners, the Circle of Giving. They're based out of the media area. So Uplift Solutions is a nonprofit that's connected to the Browns family ShopRite, right?
Okay.
And they have a nonprofit based out of Philly. They're starting a hub down here in Chester, and so they've been sending produce and bagged up produce and things in this area. And yesterday they just surprised, they dropped like 1,000 pounds of produce on us. And
I saw it.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, yo, we're not ready to handle all this, man. But they've been delivering produce to us, dropping it off. And so the families, when they come, the kids get the recreation bags and the art boxes. But the parents, they have, we get produce, and we help you, we put it in the cars for the families and all that stuff. So shout out to the team that's been out there doing that. Shout out to Ricky and Lauren, who's been coordinating. Shout out to Jamar and Steve. Steve's been a gun out there, man. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Nilda, who's also been out there volunteering. It's Pat Tripley has been coming out, and a few others. A few of the pastors have been out. Pastor George Anderson from St. Luke, he's been coming out as well, and Pastor Ron, Dr. Ron Williams, who has this Chester Peace Initiative, he's been coming out as well. So shout out to everybody that's been helping out with that.
That's good. It's good to see the community come together. I feel like it warms me because I feel like Chester, we always get the crap about the violence. And when we see each other doing well, I feel like that should be celebrated each and every time. Absolutely. So, congratulations on this project that you're doing with your C Pride has B Pride. I'm actually going to do a post, to come and see you guys at 3rd and Highland today.
Yeah.
So I hope that goes well today. Hopefully the rain holds off so you guys can have a successful event.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, most definitely. Yeah, that's good. I do know that you gotta go get ready for that. So I got one more question for you, and then we'll let you get ready for the C Pride with the V Pride. And this is more so about the importance of supporting Black businesses, but not even just Black businesses, because now I've realized about supporting the businesses in your community. Can you just touch on that, like supporting the business in your community, and of course, I would say Black as well, in order to put the money back into our community?
Well, let me say this first about people that start businesses in our community. It's very important to do research and do your homework, and if you don't do anything else, do a market research. And a market research means, what is this business viable in my market? How many other competitors do I have out there? I was on the phone earlier with a grant writer she's in Arizona. And the first thing she asked me, she said, if I'm writing grants for you, who is your competitor? Who's doing the same thing that Making a Change Group is doing? And how do you complement each other and versus competing? Because I need to make a compelling case for you if I'm going to write a request for grants for you, and the work that you do. Well, if we're doing that for a nonprofit, imagine what you need to do for a for-profit. How many other clothing lines, are there out there? How many other food businesses are there out there? Are they selling the same type of food? What's your niche? What's gonna differentiate you? And even if they are selling something, similar to you, how can you differentiate what you have to offer than somebody else? I saw somebody put up a post, right after the whole Juneteenth, and everybody was, there was a lot of people supporting Black businesses. And I saw one of my friends put up a post saying, does anybody know a Black-owned plumbing company? And her post went silent for an hour straight. And not one Black-owned company, they may know somebody that knows how to do some plumbing, but not one Black-owned plumbing company, because, we at times, I believe our people get caught up in the hype and the trends and want to try to jump into a trendy thing and say, oh, such and such makes this look good, or they look successful at this, so I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do this, instead of really taking the time to do the research on what is needed in your market. What is, what do the people want? What is of value? What services of value? And so for me, because I've come to the point now where I'm an investor. I'm a property investor. I've invested in Market Street Ballroom. I've invested in a few different businesses. At this point. So if I'm going to invest in something, which I am looking to invest in some minority-owned businesses, but it needs to make sense. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if I had a plumbing company that came to me, I want to see your business plan. I want to see, how do you, what type of customers do you have? Do you have your books in order? So these things that, a lot of times our people don't have already in place and in order. This is the time where you should be looking to get in place and in order. Just because you can call up the state of Pennsylvania and get your EIN number and for $70 or whatever the fee is for that, doesn't really make you a successful business owner or a boss or whatever. You got to be really willing to put that work in. And the reason why it's so important and not just a fad and a trend is because you really want to be a boss. You want your own freedom. When we're working a job for somebody else, we're trading our life. We're trading our hours for dollars. We're trading the hours of our life that we can never get back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And so we want to be able to have the flexibility to do what we choose to do with our time. And one of my friends, we was having a discussion because one of the groups that I'm a part of is Fuse, the Fellowship of Urban and Suburban Engagement, right? And so we were having a conversation in Fuse one time, and one of my friends who's about 5 years older than me, he said, man, I'm not going to say nothing in this group because there's too many white folks in this group and somebody might know my boss. So he was scared to speak his truth and share his opinion in a safe space because he was afraid to lose his job. Whereas though for me on the other end, where I've worked hard as an entrepreneur and as a businessman to be self-employed, and not only to be self-employed myself, but to employ those that I believe in. So when I see my employee and my friend, my younger brother Ricky Taylor out there at a march, at the protest, when I see him out there and standing for what he believes in, and my values are aligned with him as his employer and as his friend and as his big brother, not only does he have to feel, a sense of job security, but your employer is going to get out there and walk the walk with you. Yep. So that's the reason why we want to boss up and we want to be put in position. It's not so we can go around and continue to buy Gucci belts and Gucci slides and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? It's so that we can have our freedom, our time, and our financial freedom.
Yep, you're so right.
Thank you for saying
that was real good. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Ricky's speech was powerful, and just to support, and you don't have to be afraid to say what you want to say. I mean, that's. I feel like that freedom is the freedom that everybody should want.
We need it.
Yeah,
we need
it. It's a must. It's a must.
It's definitely a must. And it's definitely a must. And I like how you had even said that. But the part you said about the guy being afraid to express himself because of the job that he worked at, and it goes to show that's the kind of mental slave, mentality that we get put into when we work at these jobs, And I just feel like people don't know that when I'm not at that job, I'm able to do what I want. It depends on what you're doing. That may cause some repercussions, but you're able to do what you want on your own time. And that's the thing. People don't even realize they got time on their own time, So that was real good. And what you said about Ricky, we're actually classmates of Ricky. So it's just good to see him out there doing his thing as well.
But look, I just want to say real quick about this PUA. A lot of people came up with this, this PUA money. I know some people that got $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, right?
Yeah.
If you are unemployed, instead of taking your money and just blowing through and just splurging and traveling and doing all this other stuff with it, set yourself on a payment schedule. Write your bills out and see what is the minimum that you need to live off of. Hopefully it's somewhere around $2,000, maybe no more than $3,000. And if you just got a $10,000, $12,000 come up, pay yourself every month. So now you work for yourself for the next 4 months. The rest of this year, if you just got PUA money and you got $12,000, pay yourself $2,500 a month for the rest of this year, and take your time to work on your business plan, work on your strategy, work on how to get yourself out of working for other people. Because these times are uncertain. They still don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's happening, whether the kids are going to go into school, whether you're going to be able to work. How are people going to work if the kids are at home? So these time for us to also be having the economic conversations more and more too. So in your conversations, man, when we're looking at telling people the importance of voting, it's also very important to talk to your generation specifically and younger about the importance of holding on to your money and investing it wisely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I agree.
Definitely. Yeah. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Cory Long. Thank you so much for joining us. Before you get out of here and go do your event, could you just drop your socials where they can follow, you, your groups? Just drop it all.
Sure. You can go to our Facebook page, Making a Change Group. Hit us up, info@makingachange.group.org. If you email us, you can check me out. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm not on as much, but it's Cory B. Long on Instagram, and of course, Cory Long on Facebook.
All right. And then tell them where to meet you tonight. Where are you going to? Tell them where to meet you.
Meet me on 3rd and Holland. And I will say this too. If anybody ever wants, I believe in treating everybody with dignity and respect, right? Anybody wants to reach out to me and connect for any reason, feel free to do so. I might not get back to you right away, but I will make it my business to get to you, because I believe, in treating everybody with dignity and respect. You know what I mean? So sometimes people reach out to me and, I'll respond back in a day or so later. They'll say, thank you for getting back and responding. Like I said, I didn't expect you to respond. It's like, nah, man, your opinion matters, brother. You know what I'm saying? Your opinion matters, sister. So whatever it is that you have to say, whether I agree with it or not, you have a right to speak. Whether I can help you or not, I'm going to at least respond and going to answer to you. So I welcome people to literally get at me, and just share and just let's see how we can help one another. Hopefully for the betterment of the community.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Y'all heard me. Get at him. Get at him.
Yes, get at him.
There we go.
Appreciate you all,
so
man.
Again,
appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Everything you're doing for the community is trust me, we're looking, we're watching. So thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
That's what's up. Appreciate y'all. Have a good.
You too, brother.
You too. All righty. All righty. So
that was
pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I did like that. All right,
I feel like that last part where you talked about bossing up. I was like, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I didn't even expect that to answer. Definitely. That's good though. All right, so now that it's us three here now, the cast, y'all want to get into a little bit of a culture conversation?
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, and then obviously we're going to talk about the protest that just happened this past Saturday in Ridley. I'll read what I got. All right, so right here I have a mostly peaceful march turned tense Saturday as crowds of mostly white men bum rush Black Lives Matter protests as they neared the township police station before police separated the two sides. At the station, as the crowds were scuffling, a woman had her Black Lives Matter flag ripped from her hand, and a reporter had her phone punched out of her hands twice as she attempted to capture the scene. While the Black Lives Matter protesters marched along McDade Boulevard, two pickup trucks stopped in front of them near Kidron Avenue and burned a bunch of black smoke in front of them. So the first person I'm gonna ask is Chanel. What are your thoughts on the way the Ridley residents responded or handled the protests? And then the same question for you after her, John.
Honestly, it's kind of like you want to be surprised, but it's not really surprising. Because I just feel like I've never felt unwanted in Ridley, but I've heard stories of other people who have felt unwanted in Ridley, or the surrounding area. So it's not really surprising how they acted. It's just hurtful to know that these are your neighbors, you know. Because I see a lot of people who were saying, I think a lot of the rebuttal was all lives matter. And you know, we talk about this all the time about like how much of all lives matter is kind of like a dismissal of the black lives. And they try to say, oh, but we care about all lives matter, but why would you treat me this way if you cared about me? You know what I mean? Like, why would you disrespect me and try to hurt me if my life mattered to you? You know what I mean? So it's just, and when that protest presented itself so peacefully, I watched the video. They were phenomenal at ignoring these people and just trying to just keep the march forward. Like, don't, like, stay focused. They held a lot of restraint, I would say. So it's just hurtful to know that that's your neighbor, but also not really surprising about like how they reacted. But it does make me second think about going to Ridley. I don't normally hang out in Ridley though. Like, I don't even go that way. So it's like, whatever. Like, I don't, you know, but it's still hurtful. Like, these are your neighbors. I'm pretty sure they go to the same Walmart, like the Eddystone Walmart is me. So they're there. Some people probably work at the Walmart. Yeah.
What about you, John?
Chanel really like nailed it on the coffin. You know, basically it was disgraceful, embarrassing, disgusting. And then, you know, we all seen Karen with the red pants with the United States flag shirt, you know, grabbing her, you know, her private area. And it's like, and it's like, come on, Karen, it ain't like that. That's disrespectful. And then what disturbed me more than anything, to be honest with you, is when I seen, you know, the lady with the child on her shoulders, and you see that man with that biker, what's it, like a biker vest, Chanel? So he had a biker vest, and he had a gun on him, and he's looking at the woman like he wants to hurt her or do something to that child, you know. And you know, if he's married or he has kids, damn, what you think if that was your wife? How would she feel? Like, you know, like afraid. So, you know, it was just disgust. I was just disgusted by it, mad. I'm not gonna lie, I was very mad about it. Yeah, it made me. It got me pissed because it's like, yo, man, people going up there peacefully, you know, and you know, representing what's going on, and then like Chanel said, the all lives matters thing. To me, it all lives matter until it's a black man or a black woman, and it's the honest truth. And then when people, you know, when a black man or a black woman get killed by a police officer, you know, oh, he was this, he was that. And then I heard a lot of people in that live talking about if Black Lives Matter, why black on black crime don't stop. And like on a previous episode we had before, we all three of us discussed that, you know, in our community, majority of black individuals. That's why stuff occur, you know. So, and I'm just thinking like, these people, man, they really got to be something going on with them. You know, it's hatred. And, you know, I just feel hopefully they find peace one day with their hearts, man.
I hope so, too. And, you know, one of the people who were exposed, because I don't want to say like they're exposed, they were just caught on camera. She was a school board member in the Innerborough School District. I mean, like, these are our leaders. These are the people who are, you know, making decisions about the children. Like, even if the children aren't black or they're not Hispanic, they're still children, and they deserve to have equal opportunities as the person sitting next to them at the school. So, like, you know, a white little child doesn't ask to be favored. You know what I mean? They don't ask to be just, I guess, held to a different standard. They just go to school. And so it's hurtful that our children have these people who could possibly be harming their educational experience. Because I think I read a post where she can't be removed, and she has not apologized. She has not admitted any fault. So we just have to wait until the next election year for her area, which is 2023. So we have that person
Yeah,
there for
she got a 4-year
3 years.
term.
Yes.
And maybe you brought her up because no, because I'm gonna ask you about her, Chanel. So can I read what I got on her? I'm putting names out there. All right. So an Innerborough school board member found herself the subject of 2 competing Change.org petitions Monday morning. One calling for her ouster and the other voicing support. The first petition that called for the removal of school board treasurer Christine Alonso had more than 6,000 signatures by 5 p.m. Monday. It accused Christina Alonso of screaming racial slurs while standing with the group who were seen waving the Confederate flag. There are multiple videos circulating around Facebook as proof of the school board member complete lack of compassion for many of the students in the district. And this is what someone commented on the petition. On the petition, what are we teaching our children by allowing this display of privilege and racism? A person with this amount of hate should not be on a school board. So Chanel, you work in a school, and then I think you already did give your opinion, but like Alonso, she participated in a counter protest that was interrupting a peaceful protest. So again, you already explained it, and John, you might jump in on this one. Like, why do you think? Number one, she didn't apologize for what she said, and number two, why do you think that if you're in those positions, it's important to be careful about what you choose to participate in? Nobody telling you who you can be affiliated with, but what you choose to participate.
Right.
I think because you're representing your greater community, you know what I mean? Like when you're on the school board, you speak for everybody. And I'm not saying that you're the only voice, but you're a part of a voice that speaks for the greater majority. So when you have somebody coming into like that has the power, like this person also speaks for the teachers, they speak for the staff, they speak for the students, like they speak for everybody. And I would say if I was an employee in Innerborough and I was a minority, I would feel some type of way. You know, the school board not signed your checks, but they make the decisions of your salary. They make the decisions of who they're going to hire. And knowing that, that's really like troublesome, because who can say that she's making decisions based off of the best choice for the students and not just of who she thinks would be the supporter of her side? You know what I mean? Like if I was applying now, I don't even think I would apply to Innerborough because, well, damn, they have these people on the school board. I would probably, you know, I don't want to even put myself in a position to go through that.
Right.
You know? So I think that, but her refusal is what worries me the most, because you don't even feel bad about it. So that means that somebody is supporting you and somebody is saying you don't need to apologize. You didn't say nothing wrong. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Most of the time, which is crazy, most of the time when people get caught, they apologize. They say that it was the heat of the moment. I didn't really mean those words. So the fact that she didn't, that is a big red flag. That's a problem.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
That's a statement.
Exactly.
Huge statement.
And that's the thing, because she was trying to justify what did or didn't come out her mouth. But you are aligned with who is saying things like Black Lives Splatter. You know, you're threatening to run people over. And her thing is, you know, you're a veteran, and she said things like, "I fought for you. Did you really fight for me, or did you just fight for the country of America? Because if you fought for me the way that you're explaining that you fought for me, then you would not be protesting my protest." You feel me?
Right.
If you you wouldn't be protesting my protest. I mean, you feel me? Like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't get that. And John, I want to quote you because you said something on Facebook that I liked, and I hope you don't mind me quoting you. Yeah, so this is what you said, and I want you to touch on this. You said, next time our folks peacefully protest, let us folks who are licensed, that's good to emphasize that, licensed to carry, play the back role. We will keep our mouth shut, but we must protect ours by any means necessary. I felt that to the core. So could you just explain what you meant by that? I knew, but to our viewers.
Yeah, basically, like, you know, from what I saw through the lives, you know, a lot of them individuals, I guess they were licensed to carry. I really don't know, but they have firearms. So if you're taking a firearm to a protest, you ready to do something. I'm sorry to say, you know. So I feel as though, if people that are actually licensed to carry a firearm legally in the state of Pennsylvania or other states, because you can carry in other states if you had a Utah state license. That's what it's called. But if individuals carrying the firearm, at a peaceful protest, I feel as though our people should be backed up too. The same, we come in with peace and love, and they come in with hatred and anger. So I feel as though if something would have popped off, our individuals would have been very, outnumbered by a firearm. So that would be very disturbing on that. And I just feel as though our people need to be protected more, because them cops was really protecting them people from really, to be honest with you. So that's how I noticed it. And even people swinging on I think DJ Cory, I got swung on. And
yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about.
And they just looking at it like yo, stop. Like, no, that was one of us. Get your handcuffs. So I feel like our people need to be backed up in power versus power. So that's how I feel about it. So I get it.
Definitely. I like that. It's like now we got the INFAC, the not fucking around coalition. And I agree with that. I agree with that, because, like you said, as peaceful as we came to be, there's going to be some people that's going to come and try to interrupt that peacefulness. So it's good to have our people in the back, like we're gonna let y'all be peaceful over here, but these things get nuck, we ready to buck.
Yeah, and my whole thing too, Jermir, I feel as though if especially black and brown people, if we don't have a felony or anything like that, we have to have a license to carry. Whatever you live at, what state you live at, I think it's very, important for that too. I really do. I'm a big believer in having a license to carry.
Guys, can we step into the comments really quickly? Because we have Carol Kazim, who was actually leading the protest. She says that the cops set us up. And I want to say, Carol, big ups to you for leading that protest with so much strength, and just so, like, your voice was heard. Thank you so much for representing your community, because I saw that you say you were a Ridley alum. So thank you so much for having that voice and not being afraid.
Even Carol, can you touch base more on how they, how you say they set y'all up? I would like, we would like to know more information about that.
Yeah.
And
Seda,
Seda, she said, as a really alumni, I have seen so much racism and so many people still silent. I'm so happy people are speaking up.
Yeah.
And that's true, because
go ahead.
I'm sorry, keep going.
I was going to say, Seda's a counselor, so she works in education. She is a fighter for everybody, and I love her. And you know what, Seda, thank you so much for standing up for our students as well. She used to work with us at Stowe, so thank you.
Okay, so we appreciate it. Yep.
About Seda, yes, and that's true, because I like this, something that Kenneth Picasso posted the other day about, if you want to show really Black Lives Matter, stop supporting our businesses. And I want to specifically talk about the Chick-fil-A in Ridley, because even years before, I've had numerous racist encounters there.
At the Chick-fil-A?
At the Chick-fil-A in Ridley. Yeah. With numerous employees. Just recently, probably about like a few months back, the manager up there had got fired from there. But I've heard numerous things about the Chick-fil-A in Ridley, and I feel like the way that the cops was out there to protect the residents, because like Carol said, and hey Carol, because I did
read that comment by Carol. Read that comment.
Yeah, read it
like that. They knew ahead of time we were coming. The cops strapped up as bikers. I addressed them about recognize the field.
About it.
So basically, sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. So basically, she's saying it was cops, who wasn't on duty, strapped up as bikers. That's what she's saying. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah, that's what I took it as.
Yeah, that's how it's coming across. Yes. Hey, what's up, Nasir? I see him. He say, "Welcome. The culture is back."
Nas, what's up, Nas? Wow, yeah. I'm not so wow.
Wow. And the reason why I want to touch even on that, because there's a like we talked about the lady that was the in the borough school lady. There was another one. I actually got into a back and forth with this guy, so we could talk about this. And this is the one that Carol was going at it with. Jake Chomlowski. He is the owner of Jake's Tree Service and Landscaping. And if you want to call to file a complaint, please call this number 610-908-9252. That is Jake's Landscaping and Tree Service. All right.
Say the number again, Jermir. Just so people didn't get it. Say it again.
It's 610-908-9252. Leave a nice complaint, please,
Yep.
for the coach. All right. So now with him, this is the one that Carl was getting into it with, or was he was being very belligerent towards her. So
Yes, he was.
when I found this, like we said, we found out about this the day of, so we weren't able to be there. So I did actually call that number, and I got a response back from him. So during my exchange with Jake, he expressed that he only attended because of the rumor that the peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters were going to burn the police station down. I then explained to him that once he saw that the protest was peaceful, he should have went back to cutting trees. He then explained or tried to explain that he can't be racist because he employ black men, recovering addicts, and black felons. All right, and I have an issue with this. All right, because he said, so come on, ask me how my race is. So I definitely reached out to a former employee of his, and on top of that, by him saying black felon, employee said that he would pay low wages, which is about $10 an hour. He will work you 7 days a week, and he purposely hire people with records to manipulate them and control how much he will pay them. So just because you hire black people does not mean that you're not racist. That's another form of oppression, actually.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to let Jake know. Jake from State Farm know, because Jake got me messed up.
Yeah, I feel you, man. That's exactly what it is, though. He's paying them low salary. So it's like, all right, take this shit, keep on going. He looking at them like they scrubs. That's seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with you being a business owner, I want to ask you this question. With you being a business owner, and for this guy to say that, okay, I hire black felons and all this other stuff. If that is the case, and you're not a racist, as a business owner, is that a good business move to be at a counter protest of a peaceful protest?
I was okay. If he would have went about it about respecting the Black Lives Matter protest, then yes. But the way he went about it, you saw him yelling, you saw him talking, he was huffing and puffing. So he was ready to knock something down. So it's obvious you saying how you feel. And, even for that man to even mention that who he hired. If you really cared, why even mention it? People don't need to know who you hired. That's between you and your employee. You know what I'm saying? So if you hire, people with felonies and all that, wow, whoop-de-woo. People get hired all the time with felonies. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, you got the nerve to pay these black men that's working hard doing landscaping work only $10 an hour. Come on, man. That's chump change compared to what they should really be making. At least 16, 17 starting off. That kind of work is hard. That's hard work. But
hey,
he didn't.
John, you hiring?
Actually, I'm not. But I put 2 weeks ago. I put a thing on Help Find Work Delco thing. So I was able to find like 2 good guys there. So I'm branching off, recovering from the COVID and doing a little bit of stuff here and there. But it's panning out. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, listen. If y'all ever need a job and John is hiring, y'all should just follow him just in case he's ever hiring. We're a good man who we know is respectful. He's kind. He's gonna make sure you straight.
Yeah, appreciate that.
More than $10 an hour, and not 7 days.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I'll take the taxes here, and I pay the taxes. So don't worry about it.
So
see, that's what we
Nas asked, "Where's the video?" So I think the video that I saw was on Delco
Resist.
Yes, it was on Delco Resist. Is where I saw it was like about a 40. He had like 2 or 3 40-minute videos from the protest.
Yep.
And Carol, she says they knew that it was happening because she walked into the station ahead of time to let them know that they were coming as a common courtesy. They tried to tell her that they needed a permit, but she kind of was like, no, it's our constitutional right. Next thing you know, there are bikers from Montgomery County and Bucks County at the actual protest. However, we know that you guys were outnumbered. I saw the video, but I do want to say there were some of them who were trying to keep the bikers at bay, like stay on the sidewalk. I saw the video, but of course, there got to be the tough ones that want to huff and puff and show that they're trying to be dominant. So, but I'm just glad it didn't turn too violent.
Exactly, and not to make it like an ageist thing, but it's normally like those old white men who believe in the power they had back then. Give it up, bro. Give it up. Okay, it's a new world out there. I like what Seda. I'm looking at Seda comment. So she said the Black Lives Matter protest was scheduled for August 1st, and on the same day they scheduled a Black Back the Blue event for the same day and same time. They rescheduled it for Sunday, August 2nd instead.
Wow.
And then she also said, but that's how much they oppose Black Lives Matter. They tried scheduling their event for the same day. And then she also said that Jake has several times saying racial slurs. Yes, even when me and him had our forth, me trying to explain things to him and try to explain why, all lives matter, or saying I don't understand why me saying all lives matter is offensive. You know why you're saying it. You know why.
Right,
I know these people know what they're doing. They are not that. They may be that dumb, but I want to believe that
that's what it is. They're not slick. Like they try to it's like that reverse psychology to try to make you feel like you're crazy by thinking that only you matter. It's that psychology to make you feel like you're doing something wrong.
Right,
that's what it is. It's like they try to guilt trip you into saying, well, why don't all lives matter? You know what I mean? Like we know all lives matter. We do know that.
Exactly.
We know your life matters because you wouldn't be pulled over and shot at. We know that. But however, I can't say the same for myself or you guys on the video. You know what I mean? I can't say that. So, and this is why we're saying the Black ones matter. This is exactly why.
Yeah. And if they really sorry, Mir, go ahead, Mir. Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. It's okay.
No, I'm gonna send it. No, I want you to finish that, and then I'll say what I was gonna say.
Okay, all right, my bad. Well, if all, like I always say before, if all lives really matter, they shouldn't nobody get mad when somebody say Black Lives Matter. That's how I honestly feel. If all lives really matter, don't get mad when an individual say Black Lives Matter. That's how I feel about it. Simple as that.
I'm with you on that, definitely, and that's a whole contradictory statement that they make. All lives matter. Well, duh. If that's the case, you wouldn't be mad at Black Lives Matter. But I do want to talk about the Delaware County Council had this to say that they put out a statement in regards to the Black Lives Matter protest. This is what they said: a Black Lives Matter group organized a peaceful gathering in Ridley Township. The event was organized by Dago Resist, a grassroots organization created to raise awareness about racial injustice in Delaware County. According to videos and photos from the event, a significant number of counter-protesters also gathered, yelling at and threatening members of Delco Resist, including shouting racial slurs and displaying acts of intimidation. Among the counter-protesters, at least one Confederate flag was also displayed. While we all prefer to ignore such bigotry and racial intimidation in our community, it is incumbent on all of us to denounce them, even if it is not your neighborhood or town. If it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And that was from the Delaware County Council. And I like that because they're pretty much letting them know, listen, this is not what we're going to tolerate. This is not something that we tolerate. Yes, years before they would ignore this type of stuff, but now it's too big of an issue to be ignored.
Yeah, and I believe. I'm sorry.
No, go, bro. Go.
Sorry, Mir. I believe and the reason why they're not ignoring it no more, to be honest with you, because they know the world's changing, and they know it's getting more diverse. So I think about time they got on board. So that's all I wanted to say.
And may I add, I feel like this should be important for all of us. I see a few educators in the comments. Like I just look at it when I see a Black man killed. I just look at it like that man was a boy at one point. Like he crossed some people in his life. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine like seeing one of my students gunned down unjustly. You know what I mean? It really bothers me when I'm seeing what happens to the young kids. Like across the country. When I look at Michael Brown and I look at Tamir Rice, who was 12, when I look at Trayvon Martin, I just feel like, damn, like I can't imagine it being my student. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine it being a person who walked through my office and we had conversations. We talked, okay, I'll see you next year. Okay, I'll see you next week. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And then that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Not only like the violence in Chester, because I always feel the same way about the people in Chester, but it's just like nationally and people who die unjustly, it bothers me. So if it doesn't bother you that people, not only Black people are dying unjustly, you gotta look in deep and feel like what's going on. You know what I mean? Right,
Chanel. And I want to touch base, Jermir. You don't mind?
No, I'm on. Keep going, bro.
because like the last interview we had with the Davis family, I choked up, to be honest with you, and the reason why I choked up is because first of all, I'm a father, right? And I'm a family man. That's the first two things, and that's the most important. That's the most important thing to me. So I can't actually realize, losing a child. Not just to gun violence, to anything. And then it choked me up even more because I started thinking about my friends that I lost, and I lost a lot of my friends, and I was part of that destruction of that environment. Not like that, but I was still involved with it. So when, as I got older, when I hit 19 and 20, I really started changing my ways and got more involved in helping my friends out and getting them jobs and doing little bit stuff here and there. And that it struck me. It really struck me to the core because that young man lost his life, and Akis lost his life from what I heard from the interview, because he had a T-shirt on. That's what struck me, because I'm a father first, and for that family to conduct themselves the way they were during that interview, man, I give them nothing but strength, because I wouldn't be able to conduct myself like that. I wouldn't have. And that's why I choked up. It was powerful.
Yeah. Listen. I don't know if you noticed me. I had to keep looking down at my paper to not choke up. So listen.
Yeah.
I was on the video like, oh my God, I would have been crying in there if that was me.
Yeah.
Listen, I watched that video. I said I would have been crying if I was there. So yeah, when it comes to lives, it's hard not to reflect and think about the lives that are in your life.
Right.
That's what goes to my mind. So I wanted to talk. So I see another comment by Carol Kazim. She said, we also told the cops to tell the Back the Blue to change the date to avoid conflict. They claim they didn't know, but here comes August 1st. They were at our setup location and all down McDade to the station. Bikers were in the tree trying to spy on us. It was crazy. And this is my thing too, because this is the whole thing with the Back the Blue thing. All right. Before I get into my rant, let me go into the little next one we got about an Upper Darby cop. He was fired. So Upper Darby cop. Upper Darby Township mayor has fired an officer accused of posting a racist comment on social media. Officer Jonathan Rosinski was terminated administrative leave. Let me put that in perspective. That's his termination. Administrative leave as of now. After an internal investigation. A cop who is supposed to protect and serve said this: animals. So it was a video of a black man being wrongfully arrested, and he put animals. How much to send them back to Africa? I'm not asking for a friend. And this is my issue with people who got an issue with us when we say Black Lives Matter and they try to say things like Blue Lives Matter. Number one, blue is not a life. Blue is a damn job. You choose to put on that uniform. That's number one. A cop who is put out there to protect and serve. Now, this is the whole conversation they get. Well, what about black on black? I'm going to hold someone who is who is swearing to protect and serve at a higher standard than someone just killing people for any reason. So when people who say Back the Blue or Blue Lives Matter, I feel like a big part of support comes with calling out the people you support. If you can't criticize people that you support, then what type of support is that? That's blind support, because you're not even leading them to the way that they're supposed to be. You're basically just making excuses for the way that they act on a normal basis. So when they have protests like Back the Blue, like, that's why it's a slap in the face, because you got an Upper Darby cop who is on Facebook or wherever social media site saying things such as "go back to Africa," calling us animals. And this is why we chant Black Lives Matter. And that's why when they try to come with that blue stuff, come on, miss me with that. Me with that. What do y'all think about that Upper Darby cop saying what he said, and the mayor taking the initiative to fire him right away?
Nelly?
Kudos to the mayor for taking action immediately. I think that sets a precedent that's not tolerated there. So thank the mayor. I don't know the mayor's name, but I did read the story that there was actual, I think they were saying it was backlash. Like, people were criticizing the mayor for making that choice. I read it today, so it was really fresh. Yeah, of course. But also I feel like this is the same rhetoric. Go back to where you came from. Well, you know what? We wouldn't be in this situation if, you know, we weren't stolen. So we here now. Like, this is what it is. Like, you know, we're here now. Like, we've been here. It's not, ain't nobody going back to Africa if they don't want to. Okay? Like, we're not going back. This is everybody's right to be here. You know what I mean? So what ownership do you have over the country to say who can and can't be here? I probably pay more taxes than you do. So go away somewhere. So yeah, I just feel like that's ignorance. It's that superiority complex that, you know, you own something, you know? And I just really respect the mayor for making that decision. It's not gonna be tolerated. And I think Upper Darby is like one of the most diverse places.
It is.
It's one of the most diverse places in Delaware County. So for you to be telling people that go back to where you came from, is so many people. So who are you actually serving, sir? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, who are you actually looking out for when you are out on the streets? It's hard to trust people. And I think that when you're looking at your officers, you want to know that you can trust them to protect you. You want to know that if they pull you over, it's just going to be that cordial conversation. Oh, you were speeding. Okay, get my ticket. I'm leaving. Like, you know, I feel like that sets I guess a mindset like that. All right, I'll be safe in my neighborhood. My police officers support me.
Yep, I agree with Chanel 100%, man. He got what he deserved, and that's that. Yep, he got what he deserved. You know, he don't deserve to hold that badge with honor, and then he put his right hand on that book and he didn't obey it. So he got what he deserved.
Exactly, and that's again that even take it back to the tree, you know, Jake from State Farm, or you know, the babe that was on the school board. Like, you can believe what you want and you can say what you want in your four walls, but when you choose to do it on a public, you know, public forum or at a public display, then you need to know that there may be repercussions that come with your freedom of speech of saying those ignorant things. You know, I don't even say freedom of speech, your hate speech. Cause that's hate speech, you know.
That's hate speech.
I don't
like
how
like
free speech.
I don't think that Black Lives Matter would have been a thing if we were all equal. You know what I mean? Like, if we were all living the same lives and all living the same truths, Black Lives Matter wouldn't be an issue. And if you look at, I think, what's her name, Jane Elliott, who does those experiments, she asks, who want to be treated like them, and nobody says me, then you know it's an issue.
Exactly.
Like, it'd be different if we were asking, like, all right, y'all killing us, kill everybody. You know what I mean? If you're going to be killing me, kill him too. Like, we're not asking for that. All we want is, like, treat me like how you treat him. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly, not better.
I think that, shoot, if y'all not going to stop treating us like that, then start treating them like that. You know, when you pull them over, you kill them too, so that we can all feel like we equal. You know what I mean? Nobody wants that. Nobody's asking for that. I feel like if we were asking for you guys to treat everybody like how you treat Black people, then everybody would be like, hell no, we don't want that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, if we was all here like, shoot everybody, kill everybody that that you pull over, when you bust up in the house for a raid, shoot everybody. Like, if we were asking for that, everybody would be like, hell no, we don't want that. Treat them the same way that you treat us. You know what I mean?
I agree.
We're not asking for that. All we want is to get our tickets and go about our way. If you're going to arrest us, let me live. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all. That's all.
That's all
Right.
we
That's all we
want.
want.
Yep.
That's all we want. Yeah, that's all we want. Black Lives Matter.
And prosecute them. Yes.
Yep.
Prosecution. That's what we need. We don't need just administrative leave. That's duty, and they got to get to the point whereas these officers' records become public knowledge, public records, as they can't go work for another police station. You know, it need to be. You know what? Us as citizens, since we're paying their salary, we should be able to know their history as a police officer. You know,
exactly.
Hey,
and Jermir, if I could add, I feel like this is the only job where if you mess up on the job, like if you really mess up on the job, you can get another job somewhere else. If a doctor messes up, they're done. Like, their medical license is taken. You know what I mean? If you know, so I feel like, why are we giving them so much leniency? I have to have liability insurance for my job. Why don't they have to have their own personal liability insurance that if they mess up, it come out of their insurance? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I feel like if it hit their pockets, you'd be more mindful. And that's what people are asking for with the defund the police. Like, we're not saying fire them all, but we're saying they don't need all that money. We need to reallocate it to places. So I think Nasir said, what are we doing with the financial stability? We need to be putting that money in our communities, in getting more mental health workers in our schools. I feel like if we're reallocating the funds and putting it back into our communities, we wouldn't need them.
I agree. I agree to that, Chanel. I do. I'll do that. We definitely need, like she said, mental health is big in our communities, and we need that. Like,
definitely.
And it's crazy that you say that because it's true. It's very true. Very true.
And Taylor Diane said that's all the union. They protect these officers with everything. Strongest union in the country, and I believe that. So, like she said, it's the strongest union. Which, if you, John, you know about having a union job, they protect you. So they're paying for the protections. So listen, I feel like if we're defunding them and if they have to get their own liability, I feel like that. I don't know if it would change 100%, but it would make you think twice.
Right.
Definitely, and that's what we need. And like even what Nasir said, to become a cop is the easiest public service job. And we said this before, it takes much more requirement longer to become a beautician, a hairdresser, than a cop who is carrying weapons. You know.
Yep.
That goes to show like the low standard. It's kind of like Donald Trump being president. Okay. So can I squeeze this last little conversation in real quick? I just want to get some good footage, for the documentary. And about Joe Biden's VP pick. All I'm going to ask you all is, do you think it needs to be a black woman or a woman of color? And if you do or don't, why? Who want to hit that first?
I think that we need a woman in a position of power and a woman of color. I feel like that would, I don't know. I feel like it would definitely, I'm trying to get the right words to say. I feel like it would definitely kind of set the precedent that we're moving forward, that we're a progressive country, and that he really means business when he says that we're going to, really reach out to these communities. I feel like a woman is a nice, not a nice touch, but I feel like it's a much needed touch to have in the White House, to have in a position of power. I feel like we had one black man, and that's as much diverse as the president's office has seen. That's as much as
even a white woman.
Yeah, we almost had a white woman, but to have
doesn't count.
Almost doesn't count. She didn't have no voice. She was not. She had nothing. We need a woman of any. We need a woman. Yeah. I think it should be a minority woman. However, if you choose the white woman, we gonna run with it because we still a woman, okay? Yep. But I would want. Look at Dante. Vote Trump 2020. Dante, go ahead, swear.
I will fight Dante. What's your opinion on that, John?
About his No, go ahead, bro. Finish. Go ahead.
About his about the urgency of it, because it's definitely going to be a woman, but it's an urgency that it needs to be a black woman. What's your opinion on that?
I do agree to that because it gives more stability and more strength of the black woman in our culture. I believe in that. We had a black male president, then we had Michelle Obama. I would love for Michelle Obama to be a vice, but she don't want nothing to do with it.
Don't want that.
But yeah, she don't want it. So
like us, she done with that.
Yeah. And I think Joe Biden, to be honest with you, man, he's just out here fishing. He out here fishing by him. He want the votes. But to stick to your question, to be honest with you, I believe it should be he should pick a woman, which he said he is, and I believe it would be better if it would be a black woman. And the reason why, because it just shows more unity and strength in cultures. He's a white man, he can pick a black woman, and it would still unite. So I think that's how he's going about it. I really don't know, but I do believe it should be a black woman.
Absolutely,
definitely.
And I do like.
No, go, keep going, bro.
And I do like the Spanish politician lady, Alexandra Cortez, but she's too young.
Oh, yeah,
she's too young to be up there. Yeah, she has to be.
However, if she chose to run at some point, I'd work the trail. Okay, I would work for her.
I love her. Campaigning.
Yeah, I love her. I love Alexandra. Which and also it makes me feel good because for the Spanish culture, we have a strong woman that's representing the right way. She's not brainwashed. So I love her, but he should pick a black woman. He's supposed to pick this week. So let's see.
Yeah, this week.
And
I
I
like
see a
what
lot of
Nas
people
said.
are in the comments. Go ahead.
The way he said yes, because black women are the most underrepresented people in America. However,
Yep.
I don't want her as VP. We need a black female president. I do agree with that. And then I kind of want to respond to what Dante said. He said, why not a Latina? So I just want to ask him that because the reason why I feel like the urgency for a black woman right now is because black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Black women has saved Joe Biden's campaign. Black women, like Nas said, is the most underrepresented woman in the world, So I feel like what Trump does, he caters to his constituents. If black women are the reason why we got people like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in office in 2018. Black women are the one that does the biggest turnout in voting for the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, pay homage to the people who have been saving your campaign. Majority black women supported Joe Biden as opposed to supporting people like Kamala Harris, who was running for president, And I also feel like, with that, it's a lot of voters depression going on in our community because, like you said, a lot of people are not enthused by Joe Biden himself. But I feel like if you put someone like a Kamala Harris or a Karen Bass on his ticket, that might energize some of us, because we got voters oppression and voters depression. And I feel like in order to get out of both of them, you got to get someone that's going to energize us both. I'm not opposed to a Latina woman as vice president, but I feel like you got to cater to your constituents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're the highest educated in America. Somebody said that in
yeah, Taylor. Thanks,
Taylor. Yeah.
Listen.
In the game.
Yeah, I was just looking at the comments too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw that somebody said something about women has anger issues. Chanel, you want to hit that?
I said that's a stereotype, and then someone said something about. I'm sorry. Hold on, wait. He says women has anger issues. I'm sorry, my thing went out. Oh, Taylor says men have started every war in human history. Also, way higher crime rates for males. So, listen, don't be grouping us in there, okay? That's a stereotype, first of all. And women do not have anger issues. We're very calculated people.
There we go. Look at Dante.
My mom crazy. My mom ain't crazy.
Yes.
It said Dante said, "Well, you told me, didn't you, Jermir? That was towards you, but just a big explanation over it all. We love them all. Any woman of color would be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Yes, but I just got the time. All right, so we are winding down. We are winding down on time with today's episode. This is our first episode where we kind of live stream from home. Hopefully everything get right with the station next week and we could kind of be in the studio. For those who don't know, we had a flood at the station. So I just feel like it's good to, today we decided to do it from home, So before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to our personal sponsors for this season. So returning as a sponsor, we got Flaws in All Beauty. I know we got the little bell thing. There we go. We got our new sponsor in the building, Lost in the Sauce LLC. Do that. Yep. There we go. Bang. We got also we got So Right Accessories to the building, aka Nelly Business. There we go. Hey, and then we also got Emblem Designs, who has been helping us with our t-shirts. You see it. You see it. You see it. There we go. Those are our sponsors for season 2. Again, if you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook at As the Culture Turns, feel free to do that. You want to follow CMP Radio on all social media networks. I'm about to say streaming networks. Type in CMP, it should pop right up. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Mirdy, MIRDY 3 underscores, and Jermir Caldwell on Facebook.
And you can follow me at iChanelJ on Instagram or So Right Accessories. That's my accessory line. And can I just say thanks everybody for tuning in and having that conversation with us. I feel like this was a fun episode. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. You can follow me you can follow me on Facebook at John LeBron, Instagram John LeBron 27. As the Coach Church, we're back. Season 2 is officially started today. So tune in, share. We back, and I'm back, y'all. We all back. So it's good to be back with everybody. So yeah. Much love to Jermir and Chanel for holding it down and supporting me. So I want to say thank you guys as well. You know, y'all kept me afloat, y'all kept me going. So, and thank you for checking in as y'all was checking in and the conversations we had. And then Jermir, you know, we talked on the phone and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate you guys, you know, holding me down and allowing me to do what I got to do. So thank you guys.
All right, and welcome, then Carol says, don't forget press conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. Ridley Station. So thank you.
All right, there we go. Press conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. Ridley Station. All right, you all. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of season 2. We'll be back next Thursday and every Thursday after that. All right. So thank you.
Alrighty.
We out.
Yeah.
How do we log out of here?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, how we log out of here?